Check, check. All right, guys. There we are. Ah, technology. Okay, guys. You don't hear any sound because somebody, we won't say who, didn't turn on their microphone. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, so here's the dilemma. I have stuff all over my floor. All over here. Tools. Lots of tools. And they all come from my job, Phobie Medical. So I brought all my tools back from Phobie, and they're all here. And I'm going to be setting up my soldering station. I have my microscope back, like my real microscope. This one's good. That one's good. But I have my real microscope, you know, because I love seeing what I'm doing. So I have my real microscope back. I have my soldering stations. Look at this. Come here. Hey. All right, there we go. Come on. There we go. Come on. So I've got my soldering stations. Now these ones have been at my job for, the last year and a half. So I've got my Quick, which I love, and I've got my Hakko FR410. This is my solder sucker, and this guy is an absolute champ. So I've got my old system over here. I'm going to be removing it, and I'm going to be installing all my stuff over there. I just got too much stuff. But anyway, I'm clearing out my work, bringing a lot of that stuff here. So I'll have more of my own tools here. But that means I need to organize things better, all right? Maybe, I don't know. I really would like to keep some of my tools over here. I do have my magnetic strips up here on the wall, but I would like to have some of my tools here. I do have some of these kind of organizers, and I've got a larger one down here. And these do take up a lot of real estate on workbenches, and it's almost a shame. I also have my Quick hot air station down here, and all that is going to get set over here. So when I initially designed this room, I didn't really plan on doing that, but things happen. Some things happen for a reason, and because of that, I'm bringing some of my tooling back home. And that brings me to the subject of today's matter, this fancy little guy right here, which just had kind of a rougher life. Notice the handle is all scratched up. Got some Mars on the back grill. This guy, believe it or not, I found in the middle of the road. Found it in the middle of the road. And I knew what it was as soon as I drove by it, just based on the shape. I knew what it was, and I just couldn't believe it. So this is the JBL BoomBox, and this is the large one. And this one here retails, I don't know, $450, something like that. And it's a cool stereo. It's got a rather large battery in it, and all in all, it was running just fine. And then I took it on a job on a road trip, and I noticed it wasn't running so fine anymore. And because it literally fell off a truck, to which, guys, I did post in all the neighborhood pages and stuff. I posted that a Bluetooth speaker fell off, found it in the middle of the road, and that was probably 4 or 5 months ago. It's been a long time. It's been sitting over here for a long time, because I told everybody online, if you can describe the Bluetooth speaker to me, I'll give it over to you. And here we are 4 or 5 months later, no answer from anybody. So in doing so, I went out and I got a 20 volt 2.25 amp power supply, and it cost me 20 bucks. So basically the whole radio cost me $20. Well, here's the interesting thing on this is this guy, it says, according to the flap in the back, that it takes a 20 volt 4 amp power supply. Now I know, and you guys probably know, that these speakers are not really going to pull 4 amps. Matter of fact, if it pulls 2 amps, that's got to be when the volume's just cranked. So I got a 2.25 amp, and this guy was only 20 bucks. Pretty good gig. It's got a little adapter that allows me to have the correct barrel connect on it. And here's the thing, is it doesn't show that it's charging, which is weird. In fact, let's go ahead and turn it on. Okay, that's the sound of it booting up. And then when it boots up, this indicator right here should go white, which it's not. So now I'm in this conundrum because the only thing that could be possibly different is the polarity of the barrel connector. You know, most manufacturers have it so that the positive is your inner connector for the barrel. The outer side is almost always the negative. Well, that's not always the case. It's usually the case, but not always. So some manufacturers, those naughty boys, they go out and they reverse the polarity just to be dicks, all right? So they use the same connector because it's cheap, knowing full well that most of the industry has positive inner, negative outer. Some people reverse that, and it usually says so right on your data plate. It'll usually show a cross section of your DC in, and it will state what your inner conductor is, if it's positive or negative. This guy does not. So with its current configuration, this guy gives off 20 volts in the standard polarity, and this guy should turn on or something. It should do something. Do something. Just do something. So here's what's going on. It's plugged in right now. This guy is on. You know, I know what you guys are thinking. Justin, did you even check the voltage output on your power supply to be sure it's good? I know you're thinking it. I know you're thinking it. You might be right. It's a brand new power supply, and I was like, you know something? It's got to be working correct, right? It's that why not fallacy. Okay, so let's see. What do we have here? Yes, and I'm using this camera configuration for a lot of stuff. So let's see. So I have my positive on the inner, and let's see. Let's switch it over. Okay, now we're on DC. What do we got? Of course I'm dropping everything. It's 20.28 volts. Even if it only put out 1 amp, it should charge the radio. Why is it not charging? So it makes me really wonder, like what trickery am I supposed to be seeing? Is there some trickery? If this has like an extra long barrel connector or something, I'll be so upset. Because that's the kind of dickery that OEMs do. I mean, it's a $400 radio. What are the odds a $20 power supply charges it just fine? No, it's all the way in. So I have let this thing sit overnight. I wonder if the port is loose. Guys, so all I'm doing is wiggling the port just a little bit. So now I'm pushing it to the side. Just push it to that side. So what I'm testing for is maybe a problem. So I'm waiting to see that this guy lights up. Come on. All right. Well, anyway, it'll boot up and then it shuts right back down immediately, which is, see? booting up, and nothing. Not a single thing. So I hooked it up to my regulated DC power supply over there, and I ran it off that. Wouldn't you know it? It boots up, and it stays on for a few seconds longer. So now I really am questioning this. I did a couple different videos where it says, in those videos I say just because you have voltage doesn't mean you have current. Entirely possible. Now this being a generic, very lightweight feeling power supply, I'm questioning the 2 amps. I'm really questioning it because with the weight of this power supply, I would say 1 amp, 1.5 maybe. And the thing is, a lot of these DC power supplies, they are current limited or short circuit protected. And in other words, they will shut off output. So even though it says right here 20 volt, 2.25 amp, there's a good chance that that might not be accurate. So Bjorn, you are right on track. So I have that power supply, and that power supply is more powerful than I was thinking it was going to be. So I had it possibly going up to like 4 or 5 amps at 20 volts. But I have my real benchtop power supply because I emptied out all my parts from Phobie Medical, and that means I have my real benchtop power supply. Look at this beast right here, BK Precision. This guy right here is a champ. And you know, here's the rule on power supplies. If it's heavy, it's probably good, all right? Because that's the size of the transformer inside, and they don't do any tomfoolery with the numbers, because that's traditionally what electronics manufacturers like to do. They like to cheap out on components, and they create synthetic numbers, or they create unrealistic numbers. So let's see, let's get this guy a power cord. Also possible, your new power supply has a 5x5 2.5 millimeter jack, and JBL uses a 5.5 1.8. You know, no. Because that power supply, believe it or not, has an adapter. Which means I can try it. See, that's it. So this is what Bjorn's talking about. Is the 1.8 millimeter is the smaller, and here's the adapter. So it slides on there like so, and it turns that into a 2.5 millimeter. Yep. So you know, it is possible though. It is possible that the little metal contacts in here are too far spread. And before I go tearing into anything, what I'll do is I'll shove a needle down in there and pry those contacts more towards the center point, and then we'll test it and see. Let's see. Tell you what, let's switch this guy. Bam. So right here is the connector, and right here are the metal contacts that I was talking about. And the problem is that they're pretty far spread. And if they're too far spread, then they will not come into contact with that center pole. And if they don't come into contact with the center pole, you will not charge. Okay. So yes, I kind of buggered it up a little bit, but I have a whole collection of these end terminators, different barrel connectors, because after all these years, you know what I do? I collect power supplies, and what I will do is I will either cut the cords and modify them to get the correct barrel connector for a future project, or you know, I'll use the power supply and not the cord end. So usually if I clip a power supply, I'll clip it at about this length so I can terminate it into another power supply later or something. I've done a lot of that for years. So the other day I was thinking, you know something, I get everything else off Amazon. Why the hell am I still collecting power supplies when all I really have to do is collect barrel connectors? So Amazon has all sorts of options for barrel connectors. All sorts of options, guys. And I'm talking male, female, long ones, short ones, through panel female connectors. They have, look at all these. Various diameters and inner pin diameters. And, you know, they're cheap. They're rather inexpensive. So I get a whole bag of those for like $5 to $10. 3 different bags. Well, that covers pretty much every power supply I know. So let's say I have another one of those manufacturers where they reverse the polarity. Okay. Well, I can use this guy right here to help me figure out the polarity of the item, which we might use here in a minute. And then I can re-terminate according to my findings. So that's a wordy way of saying I can fix it. All right, so here I fixed the end. Let's see if I plug it in, if it makes a sound. If it does, then it was the connector. Oh, I have a white light. To a blue? No way. And then it shuts back off. So that's the first time I had that, where it boots up, it goes to white, and then it goes to blue. So now it probably needs the, I'll probably let it charge at this moment. So straight from the factory, with their amazing quality control, I'm sure, the inner lug on the barrel connector, the contacts were too far spread. So all I did is I took my pick, shoved it in on the side, pressed it towards the middle just a little bit to give it contact. Now it looks like it's booting up. But we're gonna go ahead. Hey, camera, hi. Come on, camera. Come on. So anyway, we are gonna go ahead and plug it in to this regulated DC power supply. This BK right here is an absolute beast. And we're gonna run it at 20 volts, and let's see how much current it pulls. Because I know that I ran this earlier today with a different barrel connector, and I was getting 0 volts. Well, actually 20 volts, but 0 amps. So if it's 0 amps, that means it wasn't even trying to charge. So the reason I was going to tear it open is because usually if a company is going to be a dick and do something like reverse the polarity, if you plug in a standard plug, like one from your laptop, into it to charge it, which, you know, should work, then what they'll do is they'll have it pop a fuse. You know, there'll be like a protection diode, and then it will pop a fuse or something, and your device is down. You have to send it in for repair. I've seen it on multiple devices before, and it's something that's absolutely stupid, but I've seen it before, and that's why I wouldn't put it past them. So anyway, here is my adapter. Polarity on this guy is red to middle pole, black to the outer, you know, standard configuration. So let's go ahead and unplug that guy. And I'm going to plug this guy in. And let's go ahead and unplug this guy completely. Although I'm kind of figuring that was the problem. But we never just go by a whim, right? We got to test it. So here, let me grab some leads from this guy. Just plug them into this guy over here. Let's see what we got. Okay, so if you guys have never used a regulated DC power supply for troubleshooting, this is how you're going to do it. We use this to figure out if motors are bad. We use it to figure out if electronics are pulling current when they're charging, which is what we're going to do right now. Regulated DC power supplies are not just for testing solenoids and stuff like that. You can do so much with these, and I encourage so many electronic shops to have one, because stuff like this will come in, and do you really know if it's charging? Well, we're going to figure that out. And if anything, if I had a second radio here, we could see what one radio's charge rate is versus another one. And if there's a drastic difference between the two, you know, charge controller, DC power supply, something is bad in this radio. We're going to figure out right now. So what we do is first we set the voltage, but I don't want to set the current at a really high voltage because there's some arcy spark and stuff like that. So when I boot it, 3.2 volts right here. You connect both these together. You go immediately into overcurrent protection. This is where you set your current. So over here, down here we have volts, up here we have current. So I'm going to turn the current. Remember, it said that this guy was going to be, what, 4 amps? That's way too high for me. So let's turn this guy up to 3 amps, just to be sure. If it gets to 3 amps, then I'll know that there's something up. So notice the display, it changed. So current management disappeared. Now we're back on voltage. So now I'm at 3.2. We're going to up the voltage to its rated numbers, which was 20. You can hear it click various relays. Those relays are different taps on your transformer. And actually, this one here, you can hear it clicking. That one over there doesn't click as much. I wonder how it gets to its voltage. I wonder if it just uses like a giant buck converter or something. All right, here we go. 20.2? Okay, here we go. So we'll connect the positive first. Remember, it's current limited at 3 amps. That's what we set in the very beginning. All right, so now we can connect it. It did click. I heard it. Ooh, it turned on. I like it. Fancy. Okay, so now look, we are pulling 0.02 of an amp now. And then it shuts off. So the battery's super low, and this guy here definitely has like a lithium polymer battery in it because the battery is going to sit in the lowest part of the radio. So I don't need to open this radio at this point. I still kind of want to, you know, that would be fun. But at this point, I turned this guy on, it turned on. Here's where I'm a little disturbed though. So if you take a look, we're down to 0 amps. So it turned on and it used the extra voltage because it wouldn't turn on that far before. And then it shuts off. So what the flip is going on? Because it should be, if it's charging that battery, it should be 0.2 or something like that. And it should be pulling some current if it's charging those batteries. So this is where I'm kind of curious, guys. What the heck is going on? Hold on, I'm going through with, I'm reading some of the comments here because you guys always have some interesting stuff, man. 2-pole connectors fit in most plus and minus of bench power supplies. Yeah. See, I agree that the batteries are too low. I'm very certain that that's what's going on. You can't be a tech without a power supply. Handy Mike, thank you. Thank you. These guys here do so much more than what most people realize. You can charge your cell phone off it, or you can diagnose your cell phone for maybe having a faulty battery versus a similar cell phone. Because if it pulls an odd amount of current to do the same function, now you have something to troubleshoot off of. There's so much you can do with these guys, and too few biomeds either have them or know what to do with them. Cordless batteries all the time with my power supply. You know, you can jumpstart batteries with these guys because, especially with the lithiums, there's a lot of charge controllers on lithium batteries, especially on medicals. Oh, it just irritates the hell out of me. So what they do, especially on some of the defibrillators, there's like a bleed down resistor or a bleed down circuit that slowly seeps energy out of the battery. So if I take a battery out of my defibrillator and I stick it on the shelf, let's say I'm a company that sells batteries, and if I don't charge those batteries like every 30 days, you'll go to that shelf, pick a battery and sell it to a customer, and that battery will be dead. And I'm not saying like dead lithium dead, because a dead lithium battery, let's say a 2-cell battery is 7.2 volts. A dead lithium battery would be 3-4 volts, something like that for 2 cells. Yeah, that battery is probably not coming back. But in defibrillators and some other medical devices, those batteries sitting on their own will go to 0 volts. 0. Now, I don't know of too many batteries in the world that will go to 0 volts just sitting there. Nothing touching it. They'll go low. They'll go to 0.1, 0.2, 0.5 of a volt, 0.8, something like that. But when you have a 20 volt battery and it goes to 0.0 volts, that's telling you that there's some sort of bleed down circuit in there that is designed that you need to charge that battery every so many days or it kills the battery. Because if you guys didn't know, on lithium batteries, if the cell goes down below a certain point, the charge controller says no, and it will refuse to charge it. And that happens all the time on these little guys, all right? So yeah, my batteries have had a rough life, and I've got a whole bunch of them, Milwaukee, DeWalt, you name it. And so here's the thing, is you can force charge these batteries with one of these. Now you should current limit it. And I also have like real lithium battery chargers down here, to which you have to just put in spade connectors and you trickle charge or slow charge it to the point where the charge controller says, oh, you got a battery. Okay, we can charge it. And then you allow the trickle charger or whatever to do its thing. But, every once in a while, you get a battery that just won't charge, it's too low, or it's throwing an error code or something. And there is thermistors and stuff in these batteries. So if the battery's hot or if the battery's cold, the charger will not allow it to charge because you'll damage the cells, can cause a fire and a bunch of other stuff. But you can use one of these benchtop power supplies to take care of that. Disconnect the battery and power the JBL directly with your power supply. You were absolutely right. Should I? Do you guys think I should still open up this JBL? I do kind of want to. You guys want to see what's inside it? I know this JBL is sitting over here. Please, no. Do you guys think I should open it up? Because to disconnect the battery, I have to take this guy completely open, and at the very least, I got it for free. Well, technically 20 bucks, 20 bucks for the power supply. So let's go ahead and take this guy. Let's set him over here. He's gonna live on this shelf or over here probably by the end of the weekend anyway. So let's set this guy over. It's a teardown. It's a teardown. We're gonna tear down. I walked into this, you know how troubleshooting goes. You never know what you're gonna get. And sometimes it's a quick fix, sometimes it's not. But guys, this is gonna be one of the most original teardowns you probably ever seen, because these radios have some tricks up their sleeves. All right, give me just a moment so I can control the camera and I can get a really good view. There we go. See? Boop, boop, boop. All right. Come on. Stop. There we go. All right. This is pretty good. And I might even switch it to this one. Nah. Room cam. Okay. Here we go. Let's do it. So guys, on this radio here, there's a control panel here, so there's going to be some buttons underneath the surface. It's got two end combs right here, right here. These are also like speaker diaphragms. And down here is the little flippy flap. And it's got a home and in the woods. I have no idea what that button's for. Maybe I should someday use the user manual. So here's some of the tricks to this radio. See these end caps? This is how you get them off. It's weird. So you see how I torqued it a little bit while it's sitting on this end cap? It's got a twist lock configuration, and then they pop off. And here are my fasteners. And that pulls the handles off, and it gets me going. So let's try it for this side. Nope, let's try this way. Yeah. Let's try it straight on the wood. There it is. There it is. So somebody showed that on YouTube, and I didn't just come up with that myself because I'm magically that good at tearing stuff apart. Now, before I do something, I do some preliminary research always, and they showed me that I could pull off those caps, and that's where those locking cams are. So kind of wild, you know. I'll put those, where should I put them? I'll put them on my DC power supply. Okay, let's see. So we have 2 end caps. There's a series of fasteners in there. Tell you what, let's go ahead and use this guy. Come on. Come on. I have too much stuff in my garage. Okay. So I have 2 sets of tools, probably more than that, but I have a set that I use for medical equipment, and this would be one of those. It's this DeWalt, and this DeWalt has been fantastic. So I do see a hint of corrosion on all these fasteners. You can see the head is all white and kind of dusty. So that kind of makes me want to go inside this guy anyway, because if it's been sitting in a damp environment or something, then I can pull the PCB out and clean it, and maybe even put some conformal coating or something on it. Since this is marketed as like an outdoor Bluetooth speaker, one would hope that they would have already come up with the idea of putting conformal coating on your circuit board. So there's one cap. That guy's off. Let's flip it around. Let's do the same for the other side. All right, there we go. Wow, those are definitely corroded. Yeah, there's rust and stuff on there. You know, before I put these back in, I think I'll take them over to the wire wheel, and I grip them in a set of vice grips on the end thread, and just wire clean them, clean up some of that garbage that's on there. Okay, ready? There we go. There's one side. I just have to be a little delicate over the diaphragm right here. Ooh, careful. Oh, woohoo! That's kind of a cool design. I dig it. Ooh, that's kind of a cool design. I dig it. Look at that. All right. Let's go ahead and minimize that guy. Oh, you guys are awesome. I love that you guys love teardowns. All right, so this guy here, yeah, this definitely came from like a yard crew. I can see like yard debris, kind of dust on the ends. So underneath here is going to be, I think, 4 access holes to get to some of the fasteners here. But down here at the bottom, here's the little lip. I'm going to need a spudge tool, which of course is going to be a flat blade screwdriver. Yep, there we go. That was easy. Just kind of pop this side up. Yep, there's like a little clip right there. Nice. And I have 4 small, it looks like PH0 Phillips. It's a good thing I have precision drivers here. So let's go ahead and pull these guys. Yep. Yeah, those are Those are like pH 0 size Phillips. All right. And this is where I need my needle nose. I'm trying not to lose any fasteners because I would like this guy to be fixed. I actually took this with me on a job, I think over in San Antonio. And it's one of those things where you don't know how long you're going to be at the job, so I like to take some music or something, you know, so we can just kick back and, you know, get into a groove as a team to do our work. And when I got it back here to the house, it just wasn't running. I was a little perplexed. Okay, so that should be, yep, that should be both sides. Now, I do know that there's a series of plastic clips right here, and I'm going to rely on my handy dandy flat blade screwdriver. My little magic key to get me in. Come on. I feel some resistance. All right, let's do this. Come on. There it is. There it is. It's going to give up the ghost one way or the other. All right, so let's try the other side. There we go. A little bit of violence sometimes does you some good. Okay, so there's the two latch positions that I was trying to undo right there and right there. And I can definitely tell that there's something still holding it back over here. Don't hold back. Come on. There we go. There we go. All right, all right. Here, let me get my tools out of the way. Along with extra power cords and, you know, all the accoutrements. Okay. All right. Oh, hey, 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 hey. Settle down. Okay, so here is the clamshell. And will you shut up? Did it just turn on? All right. Well, okay, it's a good thing I'm clearing this guy out anyway. It is a dirty girl. A dirty girl for sure. Now, this guy is pretty ingenious. It's got a seam right here, and it's got a couple plastic hinges. But these guys right here kind of, yeah, they just kind of intermesh like fingers and create a stronger support structure. Very neat. This guy's got a hint of green on it from probably grass, but it's all right. We'll give it a new lease on life. Oh yeah, she's dirty. She's dirty. See that? $400 radio, and it's been treated like that. It almost feels, with the amount of rust on here, like they left this in their trailer. You know, if it is from a yard crew, they left it in the trailer and just periodically charged it. Because these fasteners would not get this rusty on their own. Not that easily. So over here we got 1, 2, 3, 4 fasteners. And the end caps will come off. So let's see. What's the one way I could do it and maybe mess it up? How about I do this with hand tools? Because if any of these fasteners are, yeah, oh geez, they had to have left this out in the weather. I don't know if it's gonna pick it up, but they're definitely rusty. Rusty. I felt like a kid in a candy store when I seen this sitting out in the middle of the road. Come on. If it has this much moisture damage to it, who knows what the battery terminals look like, because it's entirely possible that they also are suffering from rust. Wow. I am going to clean this entire bad boy up before I put it back together. That means every fastener, every surface. Come on. Come on. So I have a little horn tweeter, or not a horn tweeter, but a little button tweeter here. And I think the end cap I don't really think that that's a driven speaker. These guys down here, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. So I'm going to be careful because I automatically suspect that there's going to be some wires. Hopefully it's just the wire for that tweeter. And it is. This speaker is a lie. It's a lie. All right, let me switch to overhead. Guys, this is why modern electronics suck, okay? They suck because it's a lie. They make it look like this is a driven subwoofer, the end caps. They make it look like that. When in doubt, it is nothing of the sort. All they are basically terminators for the end of the chamber. And the only thing that's got a cute little wire is the little tweeter. You see that? That whole thing is a lie. So these guys here are the main drivers. It looks pretty clean inside, so good on them for making a device that's sealed. So I have all that moisture damage out here. I have no rusted fasteners in here. Here's my main board. Taking a look at this main board. So down here is the amplifier, clearly. And these are the power phases for it. The battery is going to be under this cap down here, isn't it? Now I'm really curious. How do I get inside this cap? Oh yeah, it's definitely right in here. So I was expecting this guy to clamshell in half or something, but you can tell what they did is this guy right here is holding the circuit board in, so the circuit board slides in and out. Got to be careful about that though. Okay, let's pull the other end cap off. And I can hear some rattle going on down in there. Oh, that's lovely. So if the batteries on this guy are really old, I don't think they're corroded anymore because it looks clean inside the tube. But if they're really old, I do still have a 3-year life expectancy on all batteries. So maybe I'll just desolder them and replace them every cell. Come on, there we go. I think there's also a microphone. I'm curious if this right here is a microphone down here at this side, right there. Let's switch. There we go. Man, I love having this ability to change camera angles so quickly. Because doing things like these teardowns, I mean, there's so many different angles that I'm approaching things. Okay, there's one more. Okay, here we go. Second end cap. All right, so it is a microphone. This little divot right here. So on this one, this half, I have 2 wires to disconnect. There we go. What a lie. Everybody like touches these like you're touching the driver of a speaker. No, it's just a rubber baffle. What a lie. Okay. So, I have fasteners that come through like this. Right here, right here, right here. How in the heck? Those fasteners are clearly holding this guy on. So on this side right here is your sound processing. None of this is the power management side, so your battery connectors are going to be all the way down at the other side. Down here I have front panel buttons right here. I've got, let's see, what else is this guy? I've got a ribbon cable. Oh, that's for this panel button on the back. These 2 right here. Okay. And let's see, where does this guy go to? I've got something else. It kind of looks like it's going up here. I have no idea what that is, though. One would think it's a microphone, but I don't think it is. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm trying to figure out how to open this clamshell to get into the batteries. Because it looks like it's all one piece, all the way around. Do I have to pull those speakers? Okay. So we do. So we do. And you guys want a teardown, you're going to get one. Right, tell you what, let's keep some of these fasteners separate. These are smaller. The head size is smaller on the speakers. You would think for just construction and manufacturing that they wouldn't use so many fasteners. Like, what's wrong with 1, 2, 3, 4? Like, large diameter. I wonder if it's because they're all screwing into the plastic casing and there's not enough thread there to only do 4. So they have to do 8. I wonder. Okay, so here is the speaker. It does have a rubber baffle. Good on them. So I'm going to unplug it. Come on. Nice and easy. All right, I need my flat blade. There we go. These spade connectors are on there pretty good. I'll tell them that. Definitely on there good. Come on. There it is. Wow. That was something else. So they're 2 different size spade connectors. So one of them is small, one of them's large. Can't really mess that up, huh? Okay, let's put that speaker down there. That's cool. This thing smells like an old washing machine. Like, I don't know where this stereo's been living, but it smells like old people's home. Yeah, you guys know damn well what I'm saying. It smells like one of those old used washing machines. Sorry guys, I should be reading the comments more instead of just taking things apart, huh? You know, so the surprising thing that I'm looking at on this is it does look like it will go back together perfectly fine. Unlike a lot of Bluetooth speakers that use a lot of adhesive, so far this one is using a lot of fasteners and very little adhesive. Bjorn, you might be right about that. There are certain things that do decay and they show their age. One of them is also these gaskets. Like silicone gaskets will show their age. And so far this one's looking all right. Come on. Come on. Jeez. There's one. Come on. Wow, these spade connectors are on there. So good. Okay. So there's my speakers. They're going to get some love. They're definitely going to get cleaned up. And I do have some more access. Okay. So here's the Bluetooth antenna. I can see that. Well, you guys can see that. See this guy that's stuck up here? So that's my Bluetooth. I really just want to get into the battery housing. This might be the time for one of those 90-degree angles. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I have one of those, or 2, or 3. Okay. Let's see how well this works. Oh. And of course I'm going to mess it up. Okay. So here is what I'm going to try to use because I can't get a full-size driver inside there. You know, you can see by the dimensions, but yours truly, well, maybe not with that bit. And of course, this one here is not a low profile bit, but it's a good one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this guy down like so, and I'm going to hit all these fasteners. Yes! You know something? I have never really used one of these 90-degree bits before, but when you have a situation like this, oh my gosh, what a blessing. All right. Makes short and easy work out of this process. This probably is how they assemble it. Okay, here we go. There we go. So you guys can see the goofiness that's going on here. It's doing well though. It's doing well. Okay, let's see. Oh man. So they put, do I need that guy? They put one fastener back here behind the card, way back here. So that means I would have to pull the card. Gosh darn it. Oh well. I said I was going to clean it, and you know, I'll do it. That means I got to pull the power board. It's not even really a power board. It's pull the board. It's just one board. Okay, so the speaker connections, I'm going to leave those. Let's see, what is this guy? Come on, all right, easy. There we go. Yes, there we go. Okay, so it's got these, I don't know, kind of standard clamps where you have to pull up on the sleeve in order to get the cable out. And that is what I'm going through right now. It's got a whole series of them. Of course it does. And right here is the main power connector. And I think this board is almost ready to come out. I have 3 fasteners in the back. Oh shoot, and the stupid Bluetooth antenna because it's soldered down. So what I'm doing is I'm going to carefully, very carefully, pry it away from the wall. There, keep that guy in the middle. So because the battery's on this side, it wants to roll so bad. It's kind of annoying. All right, and let's see, I've got 3 fasteners on the board. Oh, and a couple zip ties. Don't want to forget those. Okay, there's 1. There's 2. Oh, there's another power connector that I forgot. Couldn't see it. Okay, well that one's got a ferrite choke on it, so that one must be reasonably important. There's another wide ribbon. This is for the front panel buttons right here. And now I only have 3 screws, hopefully, and this board should come out. What a goofy setup. Is it goofy because I'm using this 90-degree adapter, or is it goofy because it keeps wanting to roll? There we go. All right, here we go. So the control board uses shorter fasteners than the other ones that I've been experiencing. Wow, I'm so glad I got this 90-degree adapter. Never ever had a use for it up until now. And I probably could do this with a stubby screwdriver. But wow, what a pain that would be, because this is kind of sharp inside this case. There we go. All right, folks. hopefully that is it. So let me make sure all my fasteners are out. So I have just this one screw down here with this nylon washer. Okay. And the board. Come on. If there's a fastener in here, I can't see it, so I gotta like move these cables around. No, I think that's it. Come on. Quit goofing around. Why is that guy? What? Now I have a, oh man. So there's a large block underneath the board. You can see it kind of right down there. So that block right there has probably got adhesive on it. So, man, I hate doing this. Ah, there it goes. Anytime you pry up on a board, it's like, you never feel good about it. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the board. So over here is, let's see, this is almost definitely my battery. We have 1 volt. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Shit. Is my microscope working? Come on. Guys, I might have to just do something special to make this work. Come on, microscope. I need you. I've got another device coming tomorrow which will change the way that I use this microscope. It's a different capture card. So let's go to overhead cam. And let's disconnect this guy right here. Okay. So bear with me, guys. I'm going to move around these cameras because you guys got to see what I'm seeing in order to understand my uh-oh moment. So let's pull this guy out, set him up so that I've got everything in focus. Now, I don't know for sure if that's a problem, but it's starting to feel and look like a problem. Okay, let's see. That's the overhead cam. Oh, can I just do this? Sorry, guys. You're going to go for a ride. Is it long enough? Not quite. Okay. I should have just unscrewed the camera in the beginning. Okay, guys. So here is our synthetic microscope camera setup. So right here on this chip, and it's a shame that the coloration of this camera is not really showing it, there appears to be what looks like a blowout on this chip. And can I get any closer? So it's a brilliant, beautiful green on this display, and this display here, it just cancels the color. How weird. How weird. All right, hold on. This is why it's nice having multiple cameras, guys. It's because reasons. All right, and let's set this guy back up. Okay. So, I do not know. I should capture a still of that. I have my real microscope set up right here. It's down on the ground. This chip appears to maybe have a blowout. And if it's got a blowout, then it's right near the battery. So in between, you know, this connector and this connector. And right here is one of your power stages. I'm not feeling good about that. I bet you that chip is fried. Darn it. Okay, well. I don't know how I could show that to you guys today. It looks like there's brown schmoo coming out of my chip. I am not happy about that. Okay, let's do room cam. All right, let's see if maybe I can show you guys on this camera. Okay, so the chip in question is this little doohickey right here. And hold on. Come on, camera, focus. All right. Because the focus is so slow on this camera, I have to very carefully and very slowly zoom in. Okay. I don't know if it's going to capture that. So that chip right there in the middle, you can kind of see the dark corner right there. That is the part in question. Ah. You know something? Yeah, I bet you that is the charge controller. I bet you it is. Gosh darn it. All right. Well, with this microscope here, I can get really close. And I'll tell you what, I'll even add some digital zoom. Hold on. Oh yeah, rip. Rip. Okay. Here, let me get even closer. And then I will bring the camera down so it can be seen. Oh, that is definitely smoked. Okay. Okay, guys, let's switch cameras to room camera. And room camera, let's go for a ride. This is a 4K camera. It's a gimbal camera, but it usually does a better job. So right here, you can see probably a better view of it. Look at that, with digital zoom. What? Here, there we go. So what do you guys think? Smoked? Yeah. Yeah, there it is. It says 83W, looks like Z295. But yeah, that is definitely that little cap that's next to it right there. Its discoloration says, yeah, some smoke, some smut blew right out the front side of that chip. Darn it. Wouldn't that be just the most ridiculous thing if that was the reason that the guys just threw it out in the middle of the road? Like, because they knew it was faulty? I don't know. I think that just kind of just recently happened, but geez. So eventually, guys, I would like to have my microscope camera set up so that I can just switch over. I mean, how cool would that be? I tear something apart, see something cool like this, and I just flip over to that camera angle. It is designed to do that right now. It's just this stupid video capture card and OBS, it just will not do it. So as soon as I plug in the HDMI, it does that, and then I go to microscope, and I have absolutely nothing. Oh well. Well, guys, you win some, you lose some, right? And at the very least, my $20 power supply, which is going to be used to charge this, I can use it for other projects. Here, camera. Come on, camera. There we go. There's the camera. Okay. So, guys, I don't know what I can do about that. It is smoked is smoked. And that sucks. See, this microscope is actually pretty good. Right now, I've got it right down so that y'all could see it. And How cool would it be if I could just, oh, and you see I got my microscope on a long arm. So if I'm moving this guy around, I can show you right up close when I find a fault like that. And you know, I can zoom out and stuff with this. Oh well. It's, shoot. Is what it is, guys. It really is. Well, guys, I tell you what. You guys learned how to tear open a JBL radio, and I learned that nothing is free. Can I reorder the part? That's a good question. So a lot of these controllers are one-off type of chips. I could replace the chip itself. That would not be much of an issue at all, especially with my hot air station. Not an issue at all. Ordering the part, that's a whole different kit and caboodle. Let me use a small flat blade screwdriver. Let's see if I can scratch off some of the smut. And, oh, come on, come on. That's the problem with having a microscope on a long arm. Every little bump and the stupid thing wants to just dance. Oh yeah, that's definitely some smoky smoke coming out of that chip. I kind of want to power it up and see what happens with, I don't know, like 30 volts or something like that. All right, and let's see. I really just wanted to read what was on that chip, but it looks kind of smoky there on the side. Z295, and it says 83W. Now, is it possible that that's a charge controller and it's rated at 83 watts? That would be an insane amount of watts for that little chip if that's really what it was doing. But so here's the other good thing about this board. So let's say I do absolutely nothing else with this board. It's done. It's trash. The good thing about this board is if you take a look at all the connectors on there, all those ribbon cable connectors, all those ribbon cable connectors on that board are valuable. I know, I'm a hoarder too. These large connectors right here, they're valuable. I mean, all sorts of stuff that's on this board is technically valuable because especially these little ribbon cable connectors right here, those break all the time. And when they break, you usually have to replace the board. Well, this time here, I don't think I'll need to. I do have a Bluetooth chipset over here. I have had other devices where the Bluetooth chipset goes bad. This one here looks like a off-the-shelf part. You just solder it in. I have seen that before. I guess what I'll do is, before I write this off as a loss, it does have a part number. Let's say JBL BoomBox. JBL BoomBox main board. Holy cow, guys. Okay. Well, she lives another day. I can get these boards all day long for about $100. Yep. $91, $100, $54. Nice. $88. It's gonna live. I don't know. I think I should buy another board. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I smoke another one too. Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing, is it's not charging the battery. So my battery terminal is down here, and that is your charge controller. I do take a risk though. If I change out this board, there is a bunch of rusted screws and stuff on the main radio. Even though this all looks really clean, I guess I'd have to check the battery and see if the battery's okay. But for $100, I could get this radio back up and going. And it is a $400 radio. I mean, right there, the same radio is for sale for $300. 130. Wow. Component transplant. You know something? If I could figure out what that little chip is right there, I would buy one, or a 2 or 3 of them if I could. Let's see. Now that come on, all the way up. There we go. This microscope is vibrating so bad right now. There it is. Stop. All right, so after I rubbed it down with some alcohol, I can kind of read it a little bit better. It does say 83W Z295. Let's see. 83W Z295. I don't really know if I have time enough to goof around with, you know, doing another board level repair. Man, guys, things are getting so busy. So I don't know. I'm kind of well, as you guys heard earlier, I don't know if I'm going to be working for this company very much longer, and that's one of the reasons why I have all my tools here. So I don't know if I'm going to get involved with some of these kind of repair jobs or not. I don't know. Yep, it's such a shame it smoked. You know, if it was like one of the main MOSFETs, which is underneath, it's got one of those universal amplifiers or a multi-channel amplifier underneath this right here. So I have to take these 2 fasteners off on the bottom to pull this heatsink off and see. But yeah, man, that sucks. I don't know. Do you guys think it's worth it if I go ahead and buy one of these boards and put this radio back together, or should I just call it a loss? I don't know. It looks like the going rate is about $100 for this board, and you know, I can't promise that when I plug it into this radio that it's not going to smoke the new board too. So Jack's Mac Attack, what's up, man? What's going on, fellow biomeds? I always get some cool dudes on here. You want me to buy the board? I'll tell you what. JBL BoomBox. Main board. Could I repurpose the speakers? Well, you know something? These are actually nice drivers. These are very heavy speakers. There's no writing on there to tell me any of the stats. This radio, oh, right here, it's got a build date of 2018. Late of 2018. So it's 4 or 5 years old. Speaker, the driver, the spider, it all looks good. It looks real good. Yeah. Runs great. I mean, the radio sounded good. It sounded real good. Yeah? You think I should do that? What if I told you I already have a MP3 Bluetooth module? Stay right here. Because I'm that guy. I have so many projects. Oh, let's open up one of my previous projects. All right. microscope, you go over here. Room cam. There we go. All right, guys. So this guy right here is one of my previous projects. And guys, I used to do all sorts of woodwork. And in doing so, I used to make custom radios, and lots of them. I got custom radios all over this country, man. From South Carolina to California, you name it. So this custom radio I was building, it never got finished. I did, obviously, the CNC work. I machined everything out and whatnot. I even started the upholstery. I got some golden paisley on here. And yeah, you can see. I even CNC'd the inner components. So it's all ready. And I've got drivers set up in a series parallel configuration, 2-channel. And then when I hooked it all up, it sounded like shite. It sounded so bad that I shelved it. So you can see I've got one large driver that I had for my bass, and I've got 4 of these speakers up and in here. And I wanted it to be raised slightly off the ground, and I had my plan for it, and it just never worked. So this is the only project I've never really finished, and it's got quite a lovely finish to it. You can go on Facebook and look up Creative Fabrications with a Z at the end of Fabrications, and you'll see some of my other woodworking projects that I've done over the years. And I like I said, I've done lots of different radios. Some of them are gorgeous. I wish I still had some of them. But moving around the country as much as I do, I end up selling them off, or I custom make them for people and they're gone. So this project right here never really got finished. So you can see, man, that's actually a nice driver. It's a shame because just the audio sounded horrible. But in all that darkness, there is a light. And the light is that I have a, 130 watt driver right here. Oh, now that's interesting. So this guy here, it does have a DC in, but it doesn't have a battery management module or anything. It does have a DC in right here, but there's no charge controller. Not that I'm aware of. Yeah. So I think they're just in parallel. So you got your barrel jack here, and then right here's your battery connector. And, it's all right. But without a decent battery maintenance module in it, then I could never just safely leave it on the charger. So you see a couple protection diodes down there. It's this is a beast of a little amp circuit, and it does have a series of knobs. Left and right channel, sub channel. You got a bass and then treble. So it's a good unit. It's got all various features. It has integrated Bluetooth. I just don't know how I would implement it on this particular radio. So anyway, this guy here, if you're curious, it's the ZK-TB21. You can find them on Amazon. It's a cool little kit, but I wish it was a viable solution for this problem. Anyway, guys, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to sleep on it and think about whether or not I'm going to change out this board. I do have another Bluetooth speaker, so I didn't really need another one. And one of the cool things about this Bluetooth speaker is that it takes my DeWalt batteries. I do know that DeWalt does have new radios and stuff, but this guy here is just a little tank, and all I got to do is keep extra batteries, and it runs forever off these batteries. So I didn't need another Bluetooth speaker, but it's the challenge. I dig the challenge. Something, Handy Mike, you are absolutely correct. It could be defective and taking out the charge circuit. In fact, That is what I'm worried about. Because if I get another $100 board and I plug it in, knowing my luck, which is not the best luck in the world, it would pop the new board just the same. Just the same. So by me buying that board, that's 1/3 the cost of replacement on the whole radio. I don't know. I really have to sleep on that, because that's, I don't know. In some ways, I accept the challenge and I love it. And at the same time, I don't know, maybe I could spend my money on some other things. Guys, I have so much stuff. I have so much stuff to give away. We are going to be doing some giveaways. I have, look at this. I did videos on like this little oscilloscope and component tester. I have stuff that's just around. And as I'm reorganizing my shop, it's becoming painfully obvious that I need to get rid of more stuff. Especially since I brought my tools in from Phobie. Now that I have all my tools, like even my rollaway and stuff, that was all up at Phobie, and that was the first item I brought back. And now my soldering station's going to be here, and my microscope. Oh, I love that microscope. But Derb. Need the battery as well before I'd consider it. Yeah, I would have to both ohm the battery and do voltage check on each cell. So if you do a voltage check on each cell, if you can really get in there in between the cells. Now, I don't know. Looking at this guy, it looks like these are going to be the, 18650 cells, because it looks almost like there's going to be a cylindrical battery. You know something? Let's find out. I know I stopped at the first thing that was broke, but let's figure it out. Let's do it. I mean, it's already broke, right? Let's figure out what batteries are inside it, because other words, I might not even be able to sleep, because guys, I'm that type of guy. Like, if something's really bugging me, I will not be able to sleep. That's why some of my most successful videos were done at like 1 or 2 in the morning, is because I couldn't sleep. Like, I get this idea of what I want to do, and I don't know. I've had a problem, like back in the military, where they had to put me on meds to get me to sleep, because I would be up for days, like a couple days at a time. It's a wild world, isn't it? All right, come on. My chuck. Well, that's lovely. Who makes this chuck? DeWalt? All right. This is an unusual chuck that just kind of almost broke on me right there. And this awkward housing. Come on. Well, I'll tell you for a fact, that's a screw that's not going back in. All people that repair things, when we're taking things apart, you get that one fastener that just doesn't want to cooperate, and you're like, that one's not going back in. That is not happening. Well, I'm very surprised. JBL did not use hardly any adhesives. Oh, I'm so glad I pulled this apart. You guys, I am so glad. Hold on. It's this choke. It's just, okay, so they have foam wrapped around this cable. Boop. So they have foam wrapped around a cable, and the cable is going through a choke. Come on. That is so messed up. So in order to get this cable through, I have to kind of bend it at an angle to get it through the choke. And it's all covered in foam. How weird. There it is. All right. And I can't pull the battery cover off because this choke, this ferrite core, is keeping me from pulling it out. You know, build quality wise, this radio is actually built really well. I mean, look at this seal that they put around the battery housing. That's cool. They did a pretty good job on that. Silicone seal. I guess I can put this guy off the side. And here is the battery pack. It's a good one too. And it looks like, hold on, let me see if I can feel it. So this is Great Power. Well, if it's a Great Power battery, if you guys have never heard that name before, Great Power does all sorts of different types of battery packs. So this one is 7.4 volt. This is a 10,000 milliamp hour battery, 74 watt hour lithium polymer. Ah, I was right about that in the beginning. I didn't think that they'd be able to put the 18650 cells in there because, you know, they add the weight. So this is a lithium polymer battery, and what they did to protect it is, first it's 2 cells. I can see one right here and one down here at the bottom, and they're pancaked. So in each one of these, it feels like there's probably 4. So 1 battery, 2 batteries, 3, 4. So it's a series parallel configuration. So they got 2 banks of batteries. That's how you get your 7-point-something volts. Lithium polymer cells naturally only give like 3-point-something volts. So you put 2 of them together in series. That's how you get your 7.4 volt. This is a good battery, man. Look at all those wires coming out of there. So I could measure between all the cells. Now I don't know which ones are which. I got 3 reds and 3 blacks, and then we have a blue and a white. And the blue and the white are usually like they're either thermistors or they are it could be a thermal fuse or something like that. But yeah, hard to say. So obviously the reds and the blacks, 3, 3. 10,000 milliamp hour. That's a decent little battery, man. I tried to rebuild a pack of 18650s for an old iBook and clamshell. Didn't work out well for me. If you have a nice spot welder, you can do it. But you know, it could be a problem. Yeah, actually, I may be going to get the next one. Oh man. Do not incinerate. At the very least, this is a win, this battery. I don't feel like that's a very cheap battery, but it is what it is. Boop. So I can measure the battery and see if it's good. This battery is not puffy. Lithium polymer batteries historically get very puffy. When the lithium starts to break down on the inside, it emits a lithium gas. And you know, that creates puffy batteries. That's usually when there's some sort of damage to one of the cells. This one is nice and flat and it's beautiful. So I bet you this battery's fine, which means that it might just be this guy. But since I don't have the OEM controller, the charger, that means I do. That was odd. Maybe the polarity is reversed, and if the polarity is reversed, then we got some bigger issues. Handy Mike says, awesome. I'm actually on the board of directors as vendor coordinator for this year. I'm trying to talk to at Better Bauma channel in the coming. Where are you at, man? What's the, oh, North Carolina Biomed Association. Yeah. When is that? That's May, right? Is that May? I was at the North Carolina and South Carolina last year and the year before. I paid on my own dime to go out there a couple years ago, and I love it. I love North Carolina and South Carolina. I still know a lot of people out there. There's still a lot of good people out there, man. And I had some awesome conversations last year with some people, and yeah, I would love to, man. So far, the 12th of this next month, I'm giving a presentation up here at MD Expo, probably one of the biggest events of the year. It's going to be right here in Houston, my hometown, and I'm going to be staying at the hotel over there in Woodlands. It's on the other side of the city. It's going to be good. I invited Louis Rossman to come out. He's going to be there as well, and we're going to be walking around, meeting people, talking about right to repair and stuff. And after MD Expo, at the end of the month, the guys at Indiana Biomed Society, they asked me to come and give a presentation over there at their society, and that's going to be good. Then after that, in June, Amy, the company, Amy, that does the CBET, CRES, and all that, they contacted me last week or the week before. I think it was last week. And they wanted to know if I'd be interested in emceeing their event coming up in June. That's the big Amy event that's over in Long Beach, California. I was incredibly honored that they wanted that. So I'm going to be going and doing that and emceeing the largest biomed event of the year. That's going to be insanely cool. I guess a lot of surprise. Oh my gosh, you guys! I got so many surprises coming up. Then in August, I'm going to be going to Colorado, and I'm going to be giving keynote at the Colorado Biomed Association. So that's just what I have so far this year. So it's definitely going to be a good year. August 14th through 17th. Wow. Okay, that's going to be right after the Colorado show. So I might be able to make that work. Nice. I did a presentation at MD Expo a few years ago. Great expo. What MD Expo was that? Which one was that? What city? Because I've been to a lot of them over the last couple of years. So I might have seen that presentation. Yeah, so Louis Rossman, he's a good dude, man. He is. So yeah, he's going to be coming and meeting and talking to people and whatnot. I've been over to his shop a handful of times now. It's over in Austin. It's like 2 hours away. And I got to meet his boss, who's the billionaire that's in charge of Futo, which is, you know, the not-for-profit. So Baltimore. Oh, shite. Did I hit Baltimore? I don't know. I don't think I've been to Baltimore. Although this year, Baltimore's got the MD, the mixer. And I was kind of tempted, I think it's in May, to hit up the mixer. That would have been cool. You can just email me at abetterbiomed@gmail.com. Go ahead and email me on there, and I'll get it. But yeah, man, I'm digging it. I've been checking a lot of stuff out. I'm sponsored this year, which is so much cooler. So the guys over at cbet.edu, they're going to be sponsoring me. Amy's going to be sponsoring me. Plus, I'm going to be doing advertisements for companies and stuff. So I'm almost at the stage of not needing to be a biomed anymore, although I really, really love being a biomed. So in some ways, I would like to just have my my editor, which now I have an editor. He's working on my first project. I just give it to him today. And the thing is, when you have an editor, you're paying him so much per month, so you have to make sure that you generate a certain amount of content to make it worth it. So I am now going to have like real edited videos. So I'm outsourcing to a guy over in Pakistan. I think it's from Pakistan. Good dude. He does all my video intros. So if you see like all these video intros that I've done over the last several years, he does all that. He does a lot of my other outsourcing that I put up there, and he finds people that can do it. So cool dude, and he's going to be doing my video editing on the other side of the world. And in return, I'm probably paying his entire month's salary, which is awesome. It's awesome because, you know, I'm supporting somebody that's got a clear talent, but at the same time, I get you guys better videos. So that's really the goal. I need to spend more time just generating better videos. Some of my old videos, I'm going to be going through and probably redoing them, especially if I have an editor now. So yeah, it's going to be cool. I know some folks, we might be able to work something out for the North Carolina Biomed Association. Keep me in touch on that, man. I would love to go. I would love to go. I've been there for several years now, and I know a lot of people over in North Carolina now. And one of the true honors I had is last year I said that I was going to the South Carolina Biomed Society, and a Navy chief found me there. He went to the South Carolina Biomed Association because I said online that I was going to go, and he met up with me over there, and he told me about some vet programs that are going on. Really energetic dude, really good dude. I would love to be able to do a video with him and show you guys some of the stuff that's going on. But he went to that meetup because I said I was going to be there, and we ended up spending a couple hours talking. And I love that kind of interaction. You know, when people have ideas and stuff, and you get out there and you know you hear their ideas and maybe present that material to everybody else. I love that because I am going to try and change this industry. I really will. Oh, you see, hey, she's old. She's an old girl, right? Right? Yeah. Yeah, she's a English Bulldog, and I've had her for, what, 13, 14 years? Yeah, she's getting old. Well, thank you guys. You guys are so awesome. You know something? I absolutely love talking with you guys, and you know, if it wasn't for the interactions with the people, I would have stopped doing this a long time ago. But you know, I've got colleges and stuff that have reached out to me, and it's, you know, if there's one thing I can do to kind of, I don't know, bring people together and stuff, it's this, whatever this is, right? So, but anyway, guys, it is 9 p.m. now, and I think I have made an absolute mess of my shop. So I was going to clean up this mess behind me, all my tools, but that is not happening tonight. So, guys, I think I have my project for tomorrow, and I'm going to sleep on it, whether or not I'm going to buy this board. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know. It's a risk, but you know how it goes. Anyway, guys, stay tuned because we will be doing some more giveaways. I have some tools and stuff to give away. I might be giving away a microscope. Man, I've just got stuff, all right? And, you know, it's one of those things where I don't need this stuff. And if I can get it into some of you guys' hands, I would absolutely love to, all right? So y'all have a wonderful night, okay? Thanks for watching, and stay tuned because in 2 weeks, I'm going to have Fluke Biomedical on, and we are going to do a show together, and we're going to do some really cool stuff, all right? And also, they have some new equipment that they don't want me to talk about. Fluke. So, guys, there's some new equipment coming out, and I can't wait to give you guys an inside shot of that. And they told me all about it, and I'm not supposed to talk about it, and, you know, it is what it is, right? Yay, PartSource is back up. So if you guys use PartSource, good for you. And, you know, enjoy your used parts and stuff. I don't know. It's a crapshoot with PartSource. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But anyway, y'all, good night. Thanks for watching.